Caitlin Clark just broke her silence, and what she said after the Puerto Rico game is not what anyone expected. One day after rewriting the FIA record books in her Team USA debut against Senegal, Clark walked into an arena where even the Puerto Rico coach's own daughter was holding a Clark sign. The cameraman was following her every move, and FIBA had already called her the face of the tournament. Then Kara Lawson and Stephanie White's offense ground to a halt. Kaya Copper played hero ball, and Angel Ree kept denying Clark the ball. And at the end of all this chaos, Caitlin's response will make you root for her even harder than you already do. Let me know down in the comments below if you think Team USA will treat Caitlin better. I thought the game was a little clunky. I felt like we probably did play our best. I thought Paige played really well. But it felt good. I obviously probably didn't shoot it as well as I would have liked. I think our zone kind of threw us off. I thought it kind of slowed down our pace a little bit. We didn't get as much in transition. So, I think if like the team plays zones, just continue to play with a lot of pace and don't let them set these zones. I was going to say Caitlin Clark hadn't played competitive basketball in 8 months. 8 months. Right groin injury, then leg, then ankle. Only 13 games in her second WNBA season, and then nothing. So, when she finally stepped back onto the floor for Team USA against Senegal, nobody really knew what to expect.
Would she be rusty?
Would she need time to find her rhythm? Would the long layoff show? She came off the bench, and within 19 minutes she had broken 5 FIA world records. Not 1. 5 in her first game back. Coming off the bench. We've got 5 new players checked in for Team USA. And if you can hear the crowd, Caitlin Clark checks into her first minutes as a senior USA national team player. There's a lot of offense here for Caitlin Clark. I see Indiana jerseys. I see Iowa jerseys. One of the most influential women's basketball players that we've seen. And she's here right now getting her first. Let's talk about what she actually did out there. 17 points, 12 assists. And here's the part that still doesn't feel real. 0 turnovers in the first half. 0. 8 assists in the first half alone, with nobody taking the ball from her even once. FIBA went back through their entire record books and found out that no player from any country in any qualifying game had ever dished out that many assists in a single half. Clark did it in her first competitive outing in 8 months. High-level basketball. Ryan Howard back to Clark. Clark into Iran. And Ian off the glass. The ball movement. The assist record goes even deeper than that. 12 assists made her the all-time leader for most assists in any Team USA senior national team debut. Most assists in any senior national team debut period across every country in FIA. Second most assists in the entire history of FIA qualifying tournaments. And the most assists ever recorded by any player coming off the bench in FIA history. 5 records, 1 game, 19 minutes. The 5-in, 5-out substitution pattern, Danila. What does that say about the depth of this team when you have Caitlin Clark coming off the bench? That's an easy shot for her deep 3. The deep 3 is like a layup for her though. The lineup Lawson put out in the second quarter with Clark running point alongside Ryan Howard, Kelsey Plum, Kiki Irian and Monique Billings were so sharp, so fast, and so connected that even Lawson herself said they took Team USA to a different level. Those were her words. Her own coach looked at that unit and said it elevated the entire team. Clark wasn't even starting, and she was still the best thing happening on that floor. That's not just a good debut. That's a player walking back onto the court after 8 months away and immediately showing everyone exactly why FIBA put her face on every single piece of tournament marketing. They didn't do that for any other player on that roster. They did it because Clark is the draw. She's the reason casual fans are tuning in. She's the reason the arena fills up. FIA knew it. The fans knew it. And after the Senegal game, the numbers confirmed it. Beating the defender and finding the right player. Clark over to Billings. And Clark, although she's the NCAA all-time leading scorer, she is an assist machine. The offensive rebound gives the USA another chance. Angel Reese makes the most of it. And that's Caitlin Clark's 9th assist. So, going into the Puerto Rico game, the situation was pretty simple. You had a player who just broke 5 FIA records. In 19 minutes of running, the most efficient lineup on the team with the whole world locked in. The question of whether Clark was ready. She answered that against Segal before most players even got warmed up. The only question left was how Kara Lawson and the coaching staff were going to use her. Were they going to let her run? Were they going to build the offense around what she just proved she could do? Were they going to look at those 12 assists and 0 turnovers and say, yeah, she needs the ball in her hands? Be patient, find the right shot. Caitlin Clark's got the ball over to Beckers. Beckers sets up the 3, and it's nothing but mad. Because the scene in Puerto Rico the next day was electric. Fans packed the arena. A dedicated cameraman followed Clark's every move. Even the Puerto Rico coach's own daughter showed up holding a Clark sign. The whole building was there for her. And what happened on that court? Once the game started, that's where this story takes a turn. As exciting as that first Team USA game was, this one was almost completely in the other direction as far as how ugly it was. The US squad are just out of sync from top to bottom. Kara Lawson's experimenting with lineups and different combinations. Let's talk about what actually happened in that Puerto Rico game. Because yes, Puerto Rico ran a zone. They pressed hard, and they made things uncomfortable. But the zone wasn't the real problem. The real problem was on the Team USA bench. When jealousy meets envy, you get what you saw last night. Caitlin Clark being shunned out of the game. I'm iced out of the game. Ignored. Teammates refusing to pass her the ball. We got Angel Reese taking it coast to coast. Caitlin Clark right next to her, refusing to give her the ball. Going, pushing, giving it to Dararaham. And the ball, it's a turnover. What we saw yesterday was the definition of jealousy meeting envy. Collier Copper was out there playing full hero ball. And I mean full. Holding the ball, pulling up off the dribble, forcing her way into traffic. And when Clark was standing wide open on the perimeter, Copper still wasn't finding her. Not once, not twice. It was a pattern. The crisp, fast defense that made the Segal game look so easy just completely disappeared. Instead of ball movement and open cuts, USA was grinding through half-court possessions that went nowhere. And Clark, who had just run the most efficient lineup on the team the day before, I was basically standing there watching it happen. Be a Copper. This is horrible. 3 people on you. Caitlin Clark is wide open. Don't pass the ball. Caitlin Clark with a great block, and then Caitlin Clark with a great steal. They'll say she doesn't play defense. So, I threw in some defensive highlights, and then she got hit in the head. Why is it always her head that's getting hit in every game she's ever played in? And then there's Angel Reese. Look, fans were watching this in real time, and they caught it immediately. Multiple possessions where Clark was open, where the right basketball play was obviously to find her, and Reese just didn't do it. Not a bad read once, or multiple times. Clips started circulating online, almost before the quarter was even over. People were furious. Well, for right here. That's our 5th player. Then we have 2 behind here. So, we're running 5v3 right now, right? We 5v3. So, we have numbers. If we had just figured out what was going on right here, we would have been in good shape. But with this confusion, Caitlin is slowing down so Angel can cross. We allowed the defense to get back into position. Now, the thing is, Puerto Rico was running a pretty nice zone in the second quarter, late in second quarter. And honestly, the best way to beat any type of defense is to keep them on their heels when you get a rebound or you get a steal. Turning the defense into offense. That's the best way to beat any type of defense. Clark's reaction to all of this wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was actually way more telling than anything she could have said. When Clark checked back into the game, Clark didn't even look at Reese. No nod, no acknowledgement, nothing. She just kept her eyes forward. That's not accidental body language. That's a player who has seen enough and isn't pretending otherwise. The first thing I want to show is this, man. This clip right here had me rolling a little bit. Now, this is in the second quarter. Okay, mind you, the second quarter. We're going to go right back into what happened in the first quarter, right? So, Caitlin coming out giving some daps, right? Bang, bang, bang. Let's go. Let's go, team. Let's go, team. Boom. Smack mo. And we were waiting on Angel. And oh, nah. Nah, man. Hey, look. But that's not all. After the game, a reporter went directly at Kara Lawson and asked her a straight question about Caitlin Clark, and Lawson just refused to answer it. Not a vague team-first response, not a pivot to something else. A flat refusal to address the question about Clark specifically. Lawson talked about being in fact-finding mode and needing to figure out combinations, which, after Clark broke 5 FIA records the day before, is a pretty remarkable thing to say. You've already found the fact. The fact scored 17 points and handed out 12 assists in 19 minutes with 0 turnovers. What exactly are you still looking for? I thought Puerto Rico played very, very hard, and they played hard the entire time. They challenged us. With their effort, and I thought they made a lot of hustle plays to create baskets for them and you know, this was more of an uneven game for us, on both ends. We talked about it as a team, and too thought we had some good spots, but I also thought we had some rough spots, and that's good. It's good to have rough spots sometimes. You're able to kind of figure some things out, and we're still figuring things out. And then there's Stephanie White sitting right there on that bench. White is Clark's head coach with the Indiana Fever. The same Stephanie White who spent the entire last WNBA season trying to get Clark to play off-ball and slow her game down. Fever fans watch this all season long. White's whole coaching approach with Clark pushes her away from being the primary facilitator, limits her reads, and keeps her from dictating pace. That's not a secret. That's not speculation. That's just what Fever fans watched happen repeatedly. And now that same philosophy had a seat right on the Team USA bench during a game where Clark was getting frozen out. Do you see all the publicity Caitlin Clark's getting today? Did you see the news? Everybody's talking about Kane Clark. We can't have that. The transition offense, Kane Clark making passes that nobody in the league has ever seen before. We can't have that. Slow it down, Carol. Switch it up. We got to make everybody else shine. Yeah, we don't want her. Everybody else needs to shine. Tonight, it's going to be Paige's and Angel's night. Yeah. What a brutal game, folks. What a brutal game. So, let's just lay it all out plainly. You've got Copper refusing to move the ball. You've got Reese looking Clark off on multiple possessions. You've got a head coach who won't even say Clark's name in the postgame. And you've got an assistant coach who has spent a full WNBA season coaching Clark into a smaller role. Any one of those things by itself, maybe you give it a pass. But all four of them happened in the same game the day after Clark broke 5 FIA records. That's not bad luck. That's a pattern. Because when you actually look at the game film and watch what happened every single time Clark touched the ball versus every stretch she didn't, the difference is not subtle at all.
Are you ready?
Because watching these two games back to back tells you everything you need to know about what Clark actually does for this offense. Against Segal, the ball was flying. Clark would bring it up, read the defense before it even set, and find cutters that her teammates didn't even know were open yet. Yeah, let's take another look at this one. Or Angel Reese strong to the basket. She was the leading scorer at halftime for this Senegalese team. She's got 5 points right now and 3 fouls, so something to look forward to. Can't be quite as aggressive as Monique Billings. Ryan Howard was getting layups off Clark passes that looked almost too easy. Kiki Iriafen was scoring in the paint without having to create anything for herself. That's what Clark does. She makes the whole floor bigger just vibing on it. Defenders have to account for her shot, her drive, and her pull-up, so gaps open up everywhere else. The whole offense breathed differently when she was running it. Against Puerto Rico, that was completely gone. USA was walking the ball up the floor, running half-court sets that just stalled out. The ball wasn't moving, nobody was cutting with any real purpose, and the transition game that made Segal look so easy just dried up entirely. Clark herself said the offense felt a little clunky. Clark played 90 minutes and finished with a plus 35 in 90 minutes coming off the bench. That second quarter unit with her, running the point, was the best lineup on the floor by a wide margin. And when she wasn't out there, the numbers dropped off. That's not a coincidence. That's not small sample size noise. That's the data telling you exactly what your eyes already saw. So, what does clunky actually look like in real time? It looks like Copper catching the ball on the wing and just holding it while the defense recovers. It looks like half-court possessions eating up the shot clock with nobody moving. It looks like passes going sideways instead of forward. Against Segal, Clark was turning defensive pressure into fast breaks. Teams were blitzing her, and she was using it against them, flipping the ball ahead before the defense could rotate. Against Puerto Rico, there was no flipping anything. The offense was just slow and disconnected from start to finish. Like I stated, I think Caitlin probably could have thrown that ball. Past everybody, got it to Hamby, and then boom, we're going to work on the mouse in the house, right? But instead, we had Angel came up, slowed the game down, slowed the offense down, and Hamby ended up throwing the point guard to the floor. We got an offensive foul. So, I just think it was a way to dodge that if we had Caitlin having the ball. And here's the thing that should genuinely worry people. Puerto Rico is not Spain. Puerto Rico is not Italy. The teams coming up in this tournament have real defensive rotations, disciplined schemes, and the athleticism to make a slow half-court offense pays. Puerto Rico's zone was enough to expose how dependent Team USA's rhythm is on Clark. Pushing pace. A more disciplined team does way more damage with that same defensive approach. You can't walk the ball up against Spain and expect Copper to bail you out by forcing mid-range jumpers. That's not a winning formula at this level. Every single time Clark touched the ball against Puerto Rico, something good happened. A kick-out, a drive that drew a foul, and a skip pass that moved the defense. Every stretch where the offense ran without her dictating pace, the USA looked like a totally different team. Slower, less connected, like they were all running slightly different plays and hoping it would work out. The film doesn't lie about any of this. You can see it in possession by possession. Clark touches it. The offense has a pulse. Clark stands on the perimeter watching Copper dribble into a double team, and it flatlines. Rihanna Jones. Caitlin Clark gets in the passing lane. Goes coast to coast for the and one opportunity. Takes the layup off the glass. She asked her teammates, did that go in? Now she gets a chance at the foul line. She wanted the intentional. I think she got hit in the head there, but let's take another look. Caitlin Clark jumps the passing lane coast to coast. Let's see. Oh, the referee got in the way to see that she did get hit in the head. She's making a case for herself. But Lawson watched all of this happen in real time, and still wouldn't even say Clark's name after the game. So, after everything, the freeze-out, the ball hogging, and the coach who refused to answer the question, here's what Caitlin Clark actually said. So after all of that, Copper hogging the ball, Reese looking her off, Lawson refusing to say her name, Clark finally spoke. And what she said is genuinely not what you'd expect from someone who just went through all of that. She called the offense name, and clunky. She pointed to Puerto Rico's zone. Talked about the pace being off, and said the team would figure it out. That's it. No shots fired at anybody, no names dropped, no hint of the frustration that every single person watching that game was feeling on her behalf. Just a clean, calm team first answer from a player who had every reason in the world to say something different. I thought we missed on the defense coverage, team first, and then I think, especially with how much we doubt, it really limits us, especially in transition, like it was hard to push, especially off of free throws. It was a bigger by the large USA. But what can you say about what you saw in Puerto Rico tonight? Yeah, I know they played with a lot of fire. I thought they were aggressive. I thought the crowd was incredible, and their fans were great. Because think about what was actually happening in that building. Copper was out there protecting her role, forcing shots, making sure the ball stayed in her hands. Reese was making reads that conveniently left Clark standing on the perimeter. Lawson was dodging direct questions about the most watched player in women's basketball. And Clark walked up to the mic and talked about the team needing to find its rhythm. That's it. No agenda, no politics, no protecting herself, just the team. Yeah, I think taking care of the ball is probably better. I don't know how many assists we had, but I thought we could have probably. I think about these games that really, and we want to get easy finishes at the rim. And I think also getting ready to pick it up. And would you say that it was due to Puerto Rico's defense, or just the offense not falling? Everyone does a great job, but also I think we can be better off. That contrast is really the whole story right there. Everyone else in that situation was doing something for themselves. Clark was the only one in the room talking about winning. And she did it after getting frozen out. After watching the offense fall apart without her running it. After sitting through a postgame, where her own coach wouldn't even acknowledge what she'd done the day before. Kara talked about doing different lineups, different rotations, and testing out that chemistry. Just how did you feel tonight and yesterday with all those different rotations? I think it was going to be a work in progress. Kind of slow, a little bit, especially going time in and time out. But you know you've got to be flexible. That's kind of what you say basketball's all about. Some games are going to be played less. Some games you're not going to play as much coming off the bench. So you've got to be ready when you're called. To think everybody's done a good job of that. We don't even know the starting lineup before the game. So you just get ready. So what does that tell you about who Caitlin Clark actually is? Because it would have been so easy to take a subtle shot. One raised eyebrow, one carefully worded answer, and the internet does the rest. She didn't do any of that. She just talked about the zone and said they'd figure it out. That's a level of composure that most players, most people, don't have, especially in a situation this loaded. But here's the thing. That composure isn't going to make the problem go away, because Lawson is still fact-finding. Stephanie White is still sitting on that bench with her whole-off-ball philosophy ready to go. And the stronger teams on Team USA's schedule aren't going to be as easy to beat as Puerto Rico was. The issues that showed up in that game don't fix themselves just because Clark is being gracious about it publicly. And so all of this is going to follow Clark back to Indianapolis. The 2026 FIBA season is coming, and she is going back to that building with a full picture, now of exactly what it looks like when a system tries to make her smaller. She saw it with Team USA. She lived it with Stephanie White all last season. And she's going back with something to prove that she honestly shouldn't even have to prove at this point. That she plays better when she's running the offense. The team plays better when she's running the offense. And the right basketball decision is just to let her run. If Lawson figures that out before this tournament ends, great. Team USA becomes genuinely scary in a hurry. That second quarter Segal lineup showed exactly what's possible when Clark gets the keys. And there's no reason that can't be the baseline for every single game going forward. The talent is there. The record books already back it up. And Clark just spent an entire post-game showing she's not going to be a distraction about any of it. Let me know down in the comments below if you think Team USA will treat Caitlin better. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next.